Hello, all, and welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes page. It's been a while, but I've been busy and enjoying life and trying to make things happen all at the same time. So, anyways, today's discussion topic, subject matter, is going to be cryptocurrency because everybody's all about the cryptocurrency. So, anyways, I don't know where you guys are at, but I'm in Northern Virginia and it's cold and snowing a little bit, and it's barely an inch of snow. But of course, they're trying to shut half of the state and the city down because of the snow and the cold weather, and everybody's losing their mind, all that good stuff. But anyways, wherever you're at, if you're on in the Southwest or on the West Coast in the warmer part of the country, first off, it's good to be you. I'm hating on you, and I hope to be there one day. As you see, I'm representing my California all day, every day. Thoughts and prayers and everything go out to the folks in California dealing with the wildfires. We're with you, and I know as soon as I become a resident of that state, I will have to deal with that. So hopefully everybody everything works out. So anyways, let's get into the subject at hand, and it's all about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and all that good stuff. So there's been recent news as of lately that first in its history that Bitcoin is actually having two companies buy into it in Wall Street. And, you know, you've had a lot of skeptics ever since Bitcoin came to be, that they said it was a fad and it was going to go away and it's a scam, all this other great stuff. But guess what? It's almost 2018. We're in 2017, and it's not going anywhere, and actually, it's growing like wildfires. No pun intended for California, but it is growing. As you can see that, so the skeptics can remain to be skeptical about it, but in the beginning stages and in the mid stages, I could understand that. But at this point, I have to say that being totally skeptical is just not the route to go right now. Partially skeptical, absolutely, because you just never know when it comes to anything, especially when it comes to investing your own money or your company's money or whomever's money, that you have to be a little bit skeptical towards it. But as you can see at this juncture right now, the time to buy is now. And two companies, Chicago Merchant Exchange and CME Group Incorporated, they have all contracted to purchase on Wall Street Bitcoin by December 18th. And it's, you know, it's the first of its kind that it's happening, and I think it's actually amazing, and it's going to bring more confidence into the game of cryptocurrency for others, and I know people are going to love that, and it's going to make more and more people want to buy into it. And because of these two merchants buying into cryptocurrency, obviously because of that, the price has gone up now. And it's probably going to continuously grow up because once you see the success with these two companies buying into it, and they haven't been shammed because, you know, companies are worse than people. They do not want to lose their money. Like a person will spend $5 and on something that they don't like, and they'd like to kick themselves in the face for saying, okay, well, hey, it didn't work out, but, you know, we'll go on. But we all know major corporations, the last thing they want to do is spend $1 on something that's not going to bring back some sort of a return on their investment. You know, that's what companies are in business for, to get a return on their investment. I don't blame them, because that's when it comes to me and my investing, I want some sort of a return, whether it's a cent, $1, $2, etc., and so forth. So with that being said, a lot of confidence is going to be brought into the game of cryptocurrency. And that's why I said it's actually a real exciting time to be some sort of an investor in the cryptocurrency world, because we're witnessing history right now. If for those of you that don't know, you know, cryptocurrency came into existence, and I guess, you know, in the age of the internet, the age of information age, technology, etc., and so forth, this was inevitable. You know, after doing my research, listening to experts, this was inevitable, and it came into of age in 2008. You know, during the financial crisis, you know, because people were trying to avoid the government. They were trying to avoid central banks because, you know, at that time, you know, the big meltdown was occurring. So I'm not saying I'm anti-government or anti-bank. I'm just saying this is what came into existence when it came to cryptocurrency. That's why it came into existence to begin with, because you had people that wanted to be able to avoid dealing with banks and dealing with the government when it came to their money, because they knew that, you know, I don't care what country you live in. I don't care what time you live in. financial crises are just inevitable. It's one of those things, it's you can't avoid it. No matter, like I said, no matter who the president is, no matter who's in charge of a company, no matter who's in charge of Wall Street, financial crises are just they're bound to happen. If you look at the history, if you Google financial crisis throughout the world, not just the United States, but just throughout the world, you'll see that they're inevitable. That's why it's smart to have different sorts of investments and have money saved up, because you have to be ready for the storm. They say harvest, through the springtime and through the summer in order for you to be ready for the fall and the winter time. Therefore you harvest. You have your supply of food. It's like you're hibernating in a sense. You have your supply of food, so when the hard winter season comes, you're prepared to survive it. And that's with having the right investments and having money saved in your account or with wherever. Both, not just one or the other. You definitely have to have some money saved up, even though it's not going to really add any value. But it's nice to have money saved up. But so you have these two different things going on at the same time. And when the next financial crisis does happen, you're prepared. You have the right investments and you have your money saved up. You have a business. You have a side hustle of some sort. Doesn't matter. They're inevitable. So prepare for the storm. Don't let the media or anybody else try to fool you into thinking that because somebody's the president or because the economy is doing this, that another financial crisis is not going to happen. It will happen, and you have to adjust accordingly when it does happen, and you have to be prepared when it does happen. Period. It's not a nonsense political argument. It's a fact-based argument. Do your own research. Look at the history. They're bound to happen. It's nothing to really argue about. So, but we'll move on. But that at the end of the day, that's why cryptocurrency came to be. And I get it. It's like it's a, as I said earlier, a backup plan. Having that sort of investment is a great backup plan to have. And once you bought into it, hey, buy it once a month, buy it twice a month, depending on your financial situation, buy it once or twice a week, whichever have you, but it's in your best interest, especially now that you see that major corporations are getting on board, with cryptocurrency. With that being said, it's going to just grow to an even bigger thing. And you see a chairman from the CFTC made this statement about cryptocurrency and said in the statement, I think this was 2 weeks ago, we expect that the futures exchanges through information sharing agreements will be monitoring the trading activity on a relevant cash platforms. And that's what's going to be happening with these two corporations, CME Group and Chicago Merchant Exchange. Yeah, the Chicago Merchant Exchange and Kobe's Global Markets. Those are the two different companies. The Chicago Merchant Exchange and CBOE Global Markets Incorporated. They're the ones that are buying into cryptocurrency. And it's the way that the process is called self-certification, which is a pledge to the U.S. Commodities and Futures Trading Commission that the products don't run afoul above the law, and that's basically their agreement that these two are going into the purchase cryptocurrency and for cryptocurrency to somewhat end up on Wall Street eventually. That's the plan. They haven't done so yet because it's supposed to take place on December 18th, but it's happening. And I imagine with the success of it, more and more corporations will get on board, and then eventually buying cryptocurrency is going to be much more expensive than it is already. So if I was you, I would do your research, and if it's for you, give it a shot. If you want to consult a financial consultant, I don't see, hey, because I'm not a financial consultant. I'm just going off the research that I'm getting and that I'm hearing. So go, consult a financial consultant and see what happens. Maybe yay or nay, depending on your situation. But I put this information out because I say one thing, and one thing to be true. If you can afford to buy materialistic stuff that doesn't make you money, after you pay your bills, after you get the necessities in life, if you can afford to buy all this materialistic nonsense so you can look good to try to please other people that don't care about you, and I'm sure you don't really care about them, then you could at least do something buy something of value for you and your family, or just yourself when it comes to an investment, because investments for you, especially your family, is going to pay off way more than a gigantic house or a brand new fancy car or jewelry or whatever have you that you want to buy. It's going to pay off way more than that in the future, and now and in the future. But that's just my perspective when it comes to utilizing your money in a reasonable way. There's nothing wrong with going out and having fun. Hey, I go out and have fun all the time and do fun things. But when it comes down to my money, I'd rather have it invested and saved in particular places in order for me to prepare for the storm, because the storm will come no matter where you live in this world. No matter what government you're under, no matter what company you run, no matter what company you work for, the storm will come. One has to be prepared mentally, physically, and financially. That is in your best interest, Now I'm going to read a quote that I heard the other day on YouTube, because YouTube's like my best friend. And I love my best friend. I'm just kidding. I'm goofy. So those who invest are most likely to obtain more financial freedom, and those who are not are most likely to be poor and live paycheck to paycheck. That is the truth. Now, if you're comfortable with just living paycheck to paycheck, not having financial freedom, and not having the freedom to say, hey, I have these backup plans, so therefore I don't need to necessarily worry about what my boss says or does, whether I got the promotion or not. I don't need the promotion because I have so many side hustles. I have my own business. I have all these investments. I have great savings. I don't need to worry about getting a promotion, because I can just, be a good employee, do my job to the best of my ability without stressing myself out, because I have other goals and aspirations to aspire to. That's just one aspect and one way of looking at it, And please, everybody remember, it's all about the mindset, and you must look at life like rich people do. If I spend all this money, how much of a return on my investment am I going to get? Because that's the difference between rich people and poor people. They have fun, but the reason why they can go out and have fun is because they have their money invested in things that's making them money while they sleep. Literally while they sleep, while they're on vacation. That's the mindset of a rich person. Not, I'm going to look good tonight and get turned up at the club and whatnot and drop $80 to $100 at the club. Because every time you spend money on things like that, unless you own the club, you're not really getting a return on your investment. Think about it like that. Because there's nothing wrong with having fun. I mean, one of my favorite reality TV shows, because I'm not a reality TV show fan, but there are some out there that actually like Shark Tank. And then you see on Shark Tank, all those people on there, they never really have to work. Mark Cuban, or the rest of the people that are on that panel, they don't have to work ever again. But they enjoy what they do, and they enjoy helping people buy people's companies, getting a stake in their companies' investments, because that's all it is at the end of the day. They already, all those people on Shark Tank are already established financially. They're already established on that aspect. They buy these people's companies not only because they want to make more money, but because they actually enjoy seeing people follow their dreams, because majority of them remember what it was like when they were out there on the grind trying to create businesses and investments and things of that nature. Everybody's on there is wealthy, in money and in life, because you see they enjoy their lives, but they're constantly looking for the next investment, which is the smartest thing anybody can do. Constantly look for the next investment, the next big thing, the next business to create, the next business to get into, the next career to get into. Stagnation is a thing of the past. This isn't the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s anymore. That time is over with. We all know that. I'm a millennial. My parents and grandparents and great-grandparents' generation were able to enjoy the luxury of not having to worry about switching careers, switching businesses on a regular basis, as far as in large numbers, because I'm sure that you had your little groups here and there that had that mindset of creating things and, doing different things and jumping into different careers and all that good stuff. But those generations had the luxury of doing that. We don't. And the future generations, after the millennial generation, don't have the luxury of just having one career or just having one business and having one or two investments. Those days are over with. Multiple investments, multiple careers, multiple businesses, that's what it's all about. Multiple networks, multiple, different sorts of people to be associated with. That's what it's really all about. The old way is not going to work now, and it's darn sure not going to work tomorrow. But that's just my perspective. You know, if you're middle class, you should be looking for the next best investment, you know, and should make an investment at least once a week or at least once a month. You know, I mean, that's just, you know, that's how the best way to look at it. You know, because it's the funniest thing ever, because I'm a real good people listener and watcher. I listen to people, I watch a lot of people, and, you know, it's all good to be into multiple things. And when it comes to entertainment and sports and all that good stuff, there's nothing wrong with having fun. I like to have fun. I don't knock anybody who has fun, but my biggest concern with, and especially with my generation, if you're more concerned about what a sports player is doing, where they're being traded, how good of a game that they had, if outside of getting in of current and future investments of the world, current and future businesses of the world, there's a problem. If you're worried about what some celebrity did or said, or constantly worrying about the next hot movie that's coming out, unless you're in the movie entertainment business or the sports business, I don't see why should be a big concern of anybody. Who got traded where, what school somebody came from, etc. and so forth. If you're a sports announcer, then it is your business to know this stuff because you're getting paid good money to know this stuff. If you're just a regular fan and that's all you're constantly worried about, but you don't know what the next big investment is, next big business is, not even thinking about collaborating with people to create a business of some sort, then I think that's really sad, because at the end of the day, and I'm not saying anything derogatory about celebrities or sports entertainers, they're more concerned about their next dollar in investment that they're making, their next project that they're going to be on or involved in. They're not concerned about what the fans are doing, except when the fans are not buying stuff for them. Because I guaranteed, if a lot of attention was taken away from sports and entertainment, the sports and entertainment industry would lose a lot of money. Am I saying I want that to happen? Absolutely not. I'm just saying, look at it from that perspective. All the time and energy you spend in what somebody does or what somebody says and all that other stuff, instead of saying, hey, what's the next best investment? What's the next business? Hey, maybe there's some real estate over there that only costs $30,000. Can I afford to buy that and flip it and turn it into maybe a business, or just buy it and, you know, buy it all off in cash and be able to, you know, get a couple of partners and, hey, let's rent the place out. There's no mortgage on it. We can charge people a bunch of rent and, hey, we can make some money off of it, you know? Do you ever just look at it like that instead of saying, oh, man, what's the next best game coming on this Sunday? Oh, man, I hope the Redskins beat such and such or the Giants beat such and such. You know, guess who the new players are in the Giants and all that good stuff. What is that doing for you financially? You know, because you know what they say, money is something you can always get, but it's hard to keep. But the number one thing you can't get back in this life is time. You know, and wasted time and talent is one of the worst things ever. And I wrote this statement up to say this before I sign off. I say that we as a society spend at least 3 to 6 hours a week researching ways to invest, make money, and utilize money in order to make more money. We could be involved in much more beneficial things. We could become owners of better things, such as real estate and businesses and possibly communities, and be much more of a sufficient society in a sense, because we're discussing ideas, projects and challenges and ways to be more beneficial instead of just worrying about what Pookie and them said at the club and or what's going on in the sports world and all that good stuff, when it's not really that beneficial. You know, it's just a distraction at the end of the day. But that's my opinion. I'm not trying to tell anybody to not be into sports and whatnot, but I'm just saying, just think about it. Do you think any of the sports players are really thinking about what you're doing with your life and where you work at and how hard things are for you in your life? No, they're not. They're just, because we do, in a sense, live in a self-absorbed society, me society. So they're worried about how much money they're getting paid for a specific commercial, how much the new contract is going to cost them, and as far as how much they're going to get from that contract and all that good stuff. So anyways, if you haven't invested in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, look into it. I think it's a great thing, and I can't wait to see where it's heading in the future. This has been another great broadcast from yours truly, Larry Patterson. Nice to see you all again, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If not, it's all good. Hope you guys have a great time, and if I don't see you again, have a happy holidays with you and your loved ones. All right, take it easy.